Jay Thomas Morning Blend. Again, I have someone from the St. Louis International Film Festival. Their movie is called Corner Office, and what's unique about it, it stars St. Louis's own Jon Hamm. Today, I have Matthew Clark with me. Hi, Matthew. How are you?
I'm really good. How are you doing?
Fine. How are you? So you were a co-producer on this?
That's right. Yeah, I was one of the producers on the film. Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, tell us about Corner Office.
So it's a sort of an absurdist dark comedy. Follows the character of Orson, that's played by Jon Hamm. He's sort of this office drone that's just started a new job in this giant corporation, and it's kind of an insane place of corporate rituals and paperwork drudgery, and he finds a bit of a solace within this office building. He finds a space, a room that kind of becomes his oasis in this insanity. And we kind of slowly understand that this becomes his downfall within the office, and causes him a lot of problems amongst his coworkers. And it kind of deals with a lot of themes of conformity and obviously workplace culture and things like this, all in this sort of absurdist kind of it's comedic, but it's very dry and sort of darkly comedic. And John really carries the film. I mean, he's in every scene. It's very much a character study of his character. And I think he's just brilliant, and I think it's a compelling and unexpected thing for him. I don't think I've never really seen him do anything like this before. So it was super exciting for him to be a part of the movie, and then super exciting to watch him work just as we were making the film. And yeah, we're really happy with how it turned out.
Very interesting because it took me a while, even to the very end. I had hope, but then, we're not going to spoil it.
No, no, we're not going to spoil. Whatever.
Uh, but I mean, I had hope there for a minute. I really did. It was very interesting. I found it very interesting. That building, though, I was like, where is the top of the building? I was concerned with that. The other thing I thought was interesting, just a little bitty thing I thought was interesting. When
Yeah.
he went out to his car one time, all the other cars had snow on it, but his car was clean. And I was like, wait a minute. He's supposed to be getting off of work. And what's his car doing clean? So that kind of gave me some hints that something may not be right here.
Yeah, there's a lot of little subtle we had a lot of fun in making the film. A little subtle, things like that, just kind of giving the illusion or giving the impression that things are kind of maybe not quite what they seem, or that he's sort of a unique thing within this ecosystem. Yeah, it's a really, there's a lot of real subtleties in the film, which I think why we're really excited to be doing some film festivals, and especially in St. Louis, that people get to see it on the big screen. So especially indie films now, there's not really that same arena commercially for people to go to the theater and see them. So many, you'll see this often on a streaming service of some kind. But to have people in the theater see it on the big screen, experience the sound design, and all those sort of subtleties sort of wash over you, and hopefully kind of pull you into the world of the film. It's very much a film. It's very much sort of a world building sort of film. And the hope is that you kind of get lost in this, and you kind of, in a way, you kind of get lost in Orson's brain, like in his mind is kind of where the movie takes place.
I thought it was interesting that the way that you guys lit this and the way it looked, I was almost saying, you could have almost done this in black and white, the way you guys did the lighting on this, because it was very dark. And I was kind of like, what's going on here? And I love, again, you're right, when you're talking about corporate offices, there's always that one light that flickers that needs to be changed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it just sits there flickering the whole, weeks on end, and nothing ever happens. Again, I've been talking with Matthew Clark. We've been talking about the movie Corner Office with St. Louis's own Jon Hamm. I want to get away from what we just talked about, the movie itself. But you made a very interesting point, and that is independent films and the big screen, which I think is very interesting. It's not very often they get to do that. How do you get a chance if you don't have the backing of a studio? How do you actually get your film out there other than the independent film festivals?
That's really the challenge now, you know. Really, the hope is that you can make something that connects with people in a way that, which kind of leads to opportunities for it to be seen. And it's really, in a lot of ways, kind of this old school way of sort of, you know, depending on word of mouth, depending on people loving the movie and telling their friends about it, and getting excited about it and spending, you know, that way. Because you just there's no way to compete with a Marvel or, you know, a giant blockbuster you know, marketing budget. It's just not the way you know, you can't compete with that. And it's also not the way that a film like this is kind of supposed to be enjoyed. You know, you don't want to necessarily like cram it down people's throats. You want it to be something that is discovered, you know, and that's kind of, I think, part of the fun of independent film is discovering these gems. And then, you know, you almost feel as an audience you have a bit of ownership over it, you know, and you feel compelled to tell people. That's how I kind of, you know, with so many movies and you know, other forms of art now too, books and, you know, things that I love, I kind of feel compelled to tell other people. And I think that that's kind of been the driving force of a lot of great independent films as of late, is that, you know, they're cool, they're interesting, there's something that you don't always see every day. So they end up kind of meaning something to you. You know, that's kind of the hope, I think, with an independent film. And a movie like this, when we made it, we hope it would kind of mean something to somebody that would watch it. And then, you know, whatever kind of life it takes on, it takes on, and we just kind of, you know, hold on for the ride.
Yeah, you're right. Matthew Clark, thank you so much for joining us on Morning Blend.
Thanks, James.